welcome to another episode of the Beauty Load podcast. This week's episode is brought to you by my brand new mini course From Insecurity to Bodyconfidence. This is a self-compassionate approach to overcoming the angst of the beauty load. And my course is selling on my website. You just have to go to www.NicoleMatheson.com/shop, and you can find a link to the sales page. You can find out whether this course is for you, what you will receive, all about my bonuses, and the price as well. So go check it out. Today I want to talk to you about what really fires me up around the beauty load and body image angst and insecurity, and that is just the waste of our light, of our confidence, that all of this beauty load, body image, toxicity, and negativity corrodes. One of the reasons that I found myself compelled to write the book, The Beauty Load, was that I was just so shocked and surprised at all of the internal angst and self-criticism that every single one of my female clients were experiencing in their inner world in relation to their bodies and their looks and their beauty. And it shocked me, not because I'd never come across it before, because I had the exact same dialogues and negativity going on inside of me, but until you're really privy to it, you don't realize that it is not just you. You don't realize it is everybody that has all this self-doubt, all this insecurity, all this negativity going on. I mean, I thought it was just me. So when I sort of was with these women, and I would see them completely differently because I don't have that internal, harsh, critical eye. I was seeing women who were beautiful, who were kind, clever, funny, creative, inspired, powerful, intuitive, connected, thoughtful, worthy, amazing women, not only doubting themselves, but fueling the self-doubt with stories, beliefs, and self-criticism. And I saw this woman after woman, session after session, for years on end. And it started making me furious, not at the women, because this is not the women's fault, this is not our fault, but at the culture. What a waste. Our culture, with all the toxic messaging around bodies and beauty and worth and value, create an internal havoc, an internal angst, and an insecurity that holds women back. So these women, I could see, were such bright lights, so full of life, of love and gifts to offer their humans, their loved ones, the world, yet they were holding back because of a perception that they were not, in inverted commas, pretty, beautiful, acceptable, appropriate, thin, tanned, whatever, enough. Oh, doesn't that make you angry? Makes me so angry. It's such a waste. It's a cultural, social waste, and it makes me really make sense of Naomi Wolf's The Beauty Myth, and how she states that she believes it is on purpose by the patriarchy to have women distracted like this with concerns about their worth and their value and their clothes and their looks and their thinness, and doubting themselves is a tactic so that women are not powerful, so that women are not using their voice, knowing their value, standing up fiercely. It makes me angry because it's such a waste. But here's the thing, right? I see the input, the cultural, social, patriarchal, consumerist input as toxic, right? Because it is. We have these inputs, these influences of shaming, of messages around our worth, of women not being respected and valued, of sexual objectification, of the porn industry, of photoshopping, of filters, of women's beauty being held up and applauded, of youth being held up and applauded, of ageism. The list goes on and on and on, right? But that is external to us. It is an influence, it is an input, but it is outside of our skin. But what happens, right, is we convert that and make sense of ourselves in the world, because this is the world we've grown up in, we've been conditioned in, like Pavlov's dog, and we internalize it. And we turn all that messaging against ourselves. We get really mean. We get judgmental, we get self-critical, we start doubting ourselves and our worth, and we start picking apart, becoming perfectionistic and OCD and needing to fix and solve, and it really eats away at our self-belief and our sense of self and our confidence, right? Our freedom to be who we are and feel good about ourselves. But it doesn't have to be like this. I believe the external world is very hard. That is the beauty load. That's what I call the beauty load. It is that external influence and pressure. But if we get conscious and choose to, we can leave that at the door of our skin. We do not have to let that in. And we can turn around the internal angst, the insecurity, with self-compassion. I believe that self-compassion is the antidote to insecurity, self-doubt, and inner angst around our beauty. Well, let me tell you a story. You know, growing up and in my 20s, I used to think I was strong. But I also thought that I could get through life's hardships and hard things and hard times by being strong. But my version of strong was actually not facing the emotions, not facing the truth, not facing the feelings, not facing my upset. It was burying stuff and soldiering on. It was basically stoic. But my stoic and my strong was also really harsh and unforgiving on myself. So I was dismissing, gaslighting, and I would motivate myself through criticism, berating myself and shaming myself. So my strong did not process anything did not create safety, did not hold myself and honor my truth. My strong ended up in me having a breakdown at the age of 29. So I was 29, newly married, young, fit, pretty healthy, apart from the fact that I was drinking a lot, and I had a breakdown. I mean, go figure. And my breakdown, the way it came to me, was physical. My body pretty much just jammed up. I knew all along that this was emotional stuff, blocked. I just knew that I was shoving stuff down, that I didn't want to deal with anything. But in trying to figure it all out, I went to the physical therapist, not the emotional ones, not the psychological ones. My strong did not make me strong at all. Whereas now, many, many years later, my version of strong is actually being with myself, being there for myself, being the loving presence to myself, being kind, understanding, supportive. I find strength by creating safety for myself and for my inner world. And this really is self-compassion. When we are self-compassionate, studies show that we become more psychologically resilient. So psychological resilience, really, that's strength. It also shows that self-compassion is linked to increased feelings of happiness, optimism, curiosity, connectedness, better relationships, including the relationship with yourself, and decreasing depression, anxiety, rumination, fear of failure. So in terms of the beauty load and body insecurity, self-compassion is the antidote. It helps us feel less negative about ourselves and more positive, more confident, more resilient, more able to keep that toxic world outside of our skin. So we can create a beautiful, loving, kind, safe, curious, understanding inner world beneath our skin, even with all of that toxic stuff, all of that messaging outside of our skin. I believe that change starts inside each and every one of us. So this, you creating a self-compassionate, loving, kind world for yourself has a ripple effect. It inspires others, it models to your children, it teaches others. So in terms of the beauty load and body insecurity, self-compassion is what we need, which is why I have created my course From Insecurity to Bodyconfidence, a self-compassionate approach to overcoming the angst of the beauty load. And in this course, I guide you step by step into self-compassion. I have kept it as a mini, tiny course because I know that your time is valuable. I know that you've probably bought into lots of courses before and struggled to finish them. I know I have done courses with some of my favorite teachers, but they ramble on and on and on for like 45-minute lessons. I've made each lesson around 12 minutes each, but some do creep up. There's 2 that creep up over that to about 15-20 minutes. I draw on the wisdom of some of the genius, brilliant teachers and leaders out there in the realm of self-compassion. Kristen Neff, who wrote the book Self-Compassion and Fierce Self-Compassion, is the creator of mindful self-compassion approach. Gabor Mate, who has a program called Compassionate Inquiry. So he's all about dealing with trauma through compassionate inquiry. I draw a lot on my favorite therapeutic practice, which is IFS, Internal Family Systems, where we offer our scared and upset parts that are often doing the behavior that we don't like. We offer them compassion. And of course, compassion queen Brené Brown. But also my years of holding space as a therapist, because really compassion is what it's all about in therapy. Yes, I've really trimmed it down, made this a concise and targeted program that each lesson leads on to the next. I have created worksheets and meditations and journal prompts and practices. There's bonuses as well. Everything you need to lead and guide you to creating your own inner world of peace, kindness, and compassion, so that you can finally let go of the angst, the internal angst, lose the negativity, and find kindness and compassion for yourself and for your beautiful body. You know, your body is a gift. You are alive. You get to be alive. You get to experience life. You get to get around. You get to have senses. You get to explore and get curious and have all sorts of different experiences in your life. That's what your body allows for you. The fact that we are sitting around worrying if it's good enough, if it's pretty enough, that is culture. I am suggesting that you have been conditioned and our culture creates that worry. So I'm not suggesting you easily just let it go. But isn't it time that we switch and we stop that negativity at the skin and we create a beautiful, safe, loving, kind, compassionate world within us, where we can love our bodies for what it offers us, for the sensations and the experiences and the pleasure that it allows us. So yes, the link is in the bio for signing up to this course. I would love you to join me. Take care, be kind. When the world gets hard, you get kind. When the beauty load culture gets nasty, you get kind. When there is shaming and undervaluing of the things that matter, when there are 6,000 images a day for you to compare yourself to, when there is porn and objectification, you get kind. Let's stay kind to ourselves. Take care. Thank you so much for listening. If you liked this episode, please like, subscribe to the podcast, and share it with your friends. I would love for this podcast to get around and spread her wings, sharing her magic with the world. And if you'd like to buy my book, The Beauty Load, you can find it at all good online book retailers, or you can go to my website, nicolematheson.com/thebeautyload. See you next time.